Greetings, brothers and sisters on the Board of Education. Greetings, Brother CEO Martinez, Sister Cito Skumbova. Wonderful to be able to speak to you all today. My name is Troy LaRaviere. I'm the president of the Chicago Principals and Administrators Union. My statement is as follows. Two or more of our conservative principals have started a petition to save the current CEO's job in response to rumors that the mayor is looking to replace the CEO. Both principals attempted to get our union to sign on to this effort, even though one of them is not even a member of his own union. I will not mention their names because, frankly, I believe they're good people who are just a little bit out of touch. And Lord knows all of us, including myself, have been a little bit out of touch at times. In considering their request to report the retention of our current CEO, we would have to consider member assessment of how supportive or unsupportive the CEO's policies and budget have been and are to them in their schools. And along those lines, a CPAA survey shows that more than 70% of principals do not feel that the CEO's budget supports the safety needs or developmental needs of their students and staff. 70% do not feel that they have that basic support. 68% say the CEO's administration ties their hands with mandates and many limitations. Mandates and many limitations that prevent them from hiring or staffing according to their school's specific needs, 68%. We also looked at the fact that one of the sponsors of our bargaining rights bill told us that when the CEO first became CEO, he told her he would work to ensure that our bill was killed. And even though our bill passed and we are now the bargaining unit for principals, CEO has never voluntarily attended any meeting with CPAA, never responded to a single message I've sent to him or any statement I've ever made to him at the board, and never acknowledged our principals union publicly, though the CEO acknowledges the teachers union frequently, as he should. But there should be some acknowledgement of your principals as well. However, even with all of this, I believe in the power of redemption. I truly do. And giving a person second chances to prove themselves. And Mr. Martinez has several opportunities to redeem himself and his administration because the argument used to support the CEO is this idea of stability. Principals have never had stability in this district because we have never had a contract. All of us can agree that stability for schools and school administrators is one of the critical concerns that pushed us to unionize. That is because our members know that teachers have stability no matter who the CEO is, because every CEO who takes the helm has to respect the terms of their contract. Since principals had no bargaining rights and therefore no contract, the CEO can make changes that destabilize the experience of being a principal in CPS. So now we're at the bargaining table seeking a contract with honest, reasonable provisions that Mr. Martinez and every CEO after him will have to honor and respect. That is what will bring stability to the experience of being a principal in CPS, a fair and reasonable contract. Unfortunately, management decisions at the bargaining table have not been honest and certainly not reasonable. We propose a simple provision that principals be treated with quote-unquote dignity and respect, and management struck that provision in their response. If we can't get management to agree to a provision that simple to treat principals with dignity and respect, what other reasonable provisions will they attempt to strike? So CEO Martinez, we ask you to begin to show you are worthy of our support by insisting that your bargaining team agree to that simple provision to treat principals and assistant principals with dignity and respect. Speaking of contract provisions, there's another opportunity for the CEO to prove himself worthy of our support, and that is to agree that you will never bargain away principals' rights in a teacher union contract. To be clear, we support any CTU contract provision that ensures they are paid what they deserve and that they are respected. At the same time, people need to understand that some of CTU's proposed provisions need more thought because they ignore the wisdom of the principal who can see the big picture that a classroom teacher cannot by nature of the isolated position of a classroom teacher. For example, there's a provision that would raise after-school compensation for teachers. We would support this provision only if you raise the amount of money in school budgets so that principals can pay the rate to one teacher without having to lay off another teacher to pay it. It is the principal who sees that this provision that CTU thinks will help some of their members will actually affect other CTU members negatively and hurt the principal's ability to run the school if the provision is not funded properly. There's also a provision that would allow a teacher to use whatever curriculum they want so long as they meet state standards. Well, if there are 20 different curriculum that all meet a standard, but 3 of them have been proven to be far more effective at meeting that standard, then the principal should be able to allow the teacher to pick from those 3, because the principal will be held accountable for student performance right alongside that teacher. So this teacher contract provision, you can see how it affects principal working conditions, and it will also affect the students we serve if you don't bring in the wisdom of the principal in these negotiations. There's also a provision that the PPLC evaluate the principal. Principal evaluation must be determined by the principal's union contract, not the teacher's union contract. So CEO Martinez, we ask you to make a statement that any CTU contract provision that affects principal working conditions must be agreed upon by both unions, the teachers' union and the principal's union, working together to make sure that all of our decisions are appropriately informed. This would go a long way in changing the hearts and minds about your administration. In addition to some action being taken to bring justice to the 9 principals who were removed on fabricated charges underneath your watch, this would also bring some change in the opinions of our members about your administration. Thank you so much for listening, and we look forward to your response. And we hope we actually get a response from you, because we've never gotten one when we've spoken at this meeting before. Thank you so much.